Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. So as you all know, Manchester United have got a lot of players on their agenda for the summer transfer window, and like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer recently revealed, he wants Manchester United to make around 3 signings in the summer, because he does believe that's how many signings Manchester United do need to become title contenders. So we need to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer, and we need to address the deficiencies in the squad. Also, too, I'm going to ask all of you who do watch this video, who should Manchester United keep and who should Manchester United sell? Now, obviously, it does remain uncertain, whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be Manchester United manager next season, because there is still reports emerging out saying that if Manchester United fail to get qualification for the Champions League, then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be sacked at the end of the season. Then it's probably likely then we'd recommend either Mauricio Pochettino in, because he's been relentlessly linked with a managerial role at Manchester United. If not Pochettino, possibly Massimiliano Allegri, who of course resigned as Juventus manager last summer after he endured 5 years with Juventus. But I think Solskjaer will still be Manchester United manager next season, because as you all know, it is a transition period. And tomorrow, Solskjaer will be celebrating his 1 year anniversary as Manchester United manager on a permanent basis. So yeah, he does need at least a couple more transfer windows. Solskjaer so far has endured 3 transfer windows at Manchester United. Didn't recommend anyone in his first transfer window, but in the 2 previous windows he has recommended 5 players in and spent in the region of around 220 million. So I've got to give Solskjaer credit, for the players that he's recommended in so far. Got to give him a lot of credit for that. Also, Man United are on an 11-game unbeaten run, and it's our best vein of form since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. Don't forget, Solskjaer's got a lot of trustworthy in his young players, so he does deserve a lot of credit. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and obviously the likes of Ed Woodward and the Glazers are also determined to back him in the summer transfer window. So yeah, and if we can get the right calibre players to Man United in the summer, then definitely I think we can be title contenders. And Man United have got quite a few priorities this season. Obviously the Europa League is a priority for us, because that's a chance for us getting silverware on the board. We haven't won out yet in terms of silverware under Solskjaer. Also to the Europa League. Sorry, the FA Cup is a priority for us, because that's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board and that. But Solskjaer knows if he's given another season at Man United, then he's got many expectations to exceed. And Solskjaer's record has been disastrous since he got the job permanently at Man United. We did make a mistake by giving him the job permanently, but the main explanation why we're giving the job permanently is reflecting on what he did when he was the interim manager. But his record is even worse than David Moyes, and David Moyes was very, very bad. He only endured 8 or 9 months at Manchester United, David Moyes, so he's endured the shortest tenure with the club since the Alex Ferguson era. But Moyes should have never came in. Ferguson was at the fault for ever recommending him in. But Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. We've seen 3 managers go, since the Alex Ferguson era, even though Man United are not really known for a sacking football club. But I've got to be honest with you, I have seen quite a lot of changes under Solskjaer, than what I saw under Jose Mourinho. Solskjaer seems to have galvanised the team. He's changed the tactics, he's changed the players, he's changed the personnel. And he's getting the best out of the players at the moment is Solskjaer. And Solskjaer was talking about how he had to overhaul Manchester United when he replaced Jose Mourinho back in December 2018. But he is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, because Solskjaer's still inheriting the vast majority of Mourinho's players. Players even from the Van Gaal era, Matty from the David Moyes era, still a couple of players even from the Ferguson era. The vast majority of the players that were under that we had under Ferguson have obviously now gone. And hopefully, when Solskjaer does eventually leave Manchester United, he can leave a better squad behind than the one he inherited. But I'm still very sceptical that he will see out his 2-year contract at Man United, unless we can keep this good run of form, going when the season does resume, and all this coronavirus situations all over. And then hopefully we can continue that going on into next season. But definitely Manchester United do need more signings. So, one player on our agenda, as you all know, is Jadon Sancho. Now, it's looking very, very imminent that Manchester United are going to sign Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window, according to recent reports. Because I think Jadon Sancho has revealed his preference is a move to Manchester United. Now, obviously, we do know how much Jadon Sancho is going to cost. He is going to cost Manchester United at least £100 million. At least £100 million. Maybe even £120 million. But either figure will make him our most expensive signing. Because our most expensive signing at the moment is Paul Pogba, who we paid £89 million for. And it would make him a record signing in the Premier League. Now, as you all know, Liverpool have also been in for him. There's some reports saying that Liverpool's his likely destination. I just don't see how it'd suit Liverpool's system, because he wouldn't get in Liverpool's team week in, week out, because, they've got Salah, Firmino and Mane, and Liverpool would have to sell one of them for him, to get in the team at Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool are strides ahead of us at the moment, but I still think, Jadon Sancho wants to come to Manchester United because he likes, Solskjaer's transfer strategy, recruiting young players. Obviously, we've got a lot of young players in the squad at the moment, and Jadon Sancho is young himself. He is only at the age of 20, is Jadon Sancho. Just turned 20 years of age, by the way. Fabrizio Romano, he came out recently, who's an Italian journalist and tends to be reliable. He basically said to Fabrizio Romano that, Man United have been in contact with Jadon Sancho's agent for 2 months, and we're working on his contract. But I think Man United are willing to offer Jadon Sancho around £200,000 a week. So we're going to offer him the same amount, as what Marcus Rashford's on at the football club. And don't forget, Sancho revealed that he wants to come to Man United because of 3 players, because he's an admirer of Greenwood. He also likes Anthony Martial, and he also has a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. Don't forget, Rashford recently got urged by Tammy Abraham to stay away from Jadon Sancho, because obviously Tammy Abraham knows Jadon Sancho really, really well. But Duncan Castles, was it last month, he said that Man United were emerged as the favourites to sign Jadon Sancho. Now, Man United are willing to offer him the iconic number 7, because we haven't got a number 7 at the moment. I think our recent number 7 was Alexis Sanchez, and we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations, and I think Jadon Sancho's that type of player that can follow them footsteps, definitely in that. But I do believe he would complement our attacking line really, really well, I've got to be honest with you. Don't forget, Jadon Sancho is the highest valued youngster in the world. Reportedly, he's worth around £184 million is the player. But Sky in Germany, they came out back in February, which was last month, and they said that Sancho's expected to leave Dortmund at the end of the season. He's expected to leave Dortmund at the end of the season. Don't forget, the Borussia Dortmund chefs, they confirmed that Man United have beaten Chelsea and Liverpool to the signing of Jadon Sancho. Now, Sancho's in his 3rd season as a Borussia Dortmund player. He's in his 3rd season. He was dropped in a lot of games earlier on in the season, but I think in his past 2 seasons, he has done really, really well as Jadon Sancho. He's a player that can score goals, he can create chances, his runs on and off the ball are very, very good. So if we could get a deal finalised for him, I would be very, very happy indeed. Obviously, as well, the beneficial thing is that Jadon Sancho's also played in the Premier League, because he served 2 years at Manchester City, did Jadon Sancho, but never really got any first team opportunities, and this is why I left City to join Borussia Dortmund. And I think he's got around 2 years left on his contract with Borussia Dortmund. So yeah, looking likely, Man United are going to sign Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window. Will be our 6th signing overall under the Solskjaer era if Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager. Because like I mentioned, so far he's brought 5 players in. Well, he's made 4 permanent signings, and he also got someone in on loan. But he was in for Sancho last year, but the main explanation why we didn't get him last year is, because we wasn't in Champions League football. That's the main explanation why. And players to that calibre want to be in Champions League football. And, reflect on the size and the potential of Manchester United anyway, we should be in Champions League football. But I'm very, very convinced we can get Champions League secured for next season. Definitely in that. But don't forget Rashford, and I think Angel Gomez had posted on Jadon Sancho's social media, was it? And, wished him a happy 20th birthday. But yeah, so it's looking likely, he's going to be coming in. So he's one player on Manchester United's agenda. Now, obviously, another player on Manchester United's agenda is Jude Bellingham from Birmingham. Now, Manchester United could also get Jude Bellingham in the summer transfer window. I think there's more transfers getting Sancho than Bellingham, to be quite honest with you, because obviously, Dortmund want Bellingham as the adequate replacement for Jadon Sancho. Now, a number of clubs have expressed their interest in Jude Bellingham, including, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Bayern Munich and that. And it did actually say recently that Borussia Dortmund were emerged as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham, because reportedly Man United had put a contract offer in for Jude Bellingham the other week to obviously convince Bellingham to turn down Dortmund and come to Manchester United. The contract offer was worth around £100,000 a week, but reportedly that offer was lower than Borussia Dortmund's bid. So I just want to confirm that. So it says due to that, our transfer for Jude Bellingham could be in doubt. But Jude Bellingham is going to cost in the excess of around £30 million. So that figure would make him the most expensive British teenager in history. James Cooper, who's a Sky Sports journalist, he gave us an update on Jude Bellingham, and he says that Manchester United have been tracking the player for months. Now, don't forget, a lot of speculation was fueled up the other week because Jude Bellingham had come to visit our Carrington training ground, to obviously hold talks with Sir Alex Ferguson. Also, he held talks. His parents, held talks with Ed Woodward, and as you all know, Man United and Ed Woodward are obviously, going to be contacting a lot of agents and a lot of players in weeks to come. But yeah, Jude Bellingham is a priority target. I don't think Jude Bellingham is ready for the Premier League as yet. It's only his first season in the senior squad with Birmingham, but he's been a revelation this season in the Championship. He has played 30-odd games for Birmingham City as Jude Bellingham. And don't forget, became the youngest player to ever represent them. Made his senior debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days, did Jude Bellingham. And I think he's expected to sign his professional contract in the summer when he does turn 17 years of age. But I just don't think he's at that elite level as yet. So I think Birmingham do need to give him at least another season in the Championship. Recent reports did say, by the way, that Borussia Dortmund have now ended their interest. I think, with uncertainty over finances, a lot of clubs across the world are obviously under financial pressure due to this coronavirus. But due to this coronavirus, it could affect a lot of, teams' transfer business, believe it or not. Because it's a very, very bad disease and it's killing a hell of a lot of people. We've heard that Boris Johnson's just been tested positive for it. But, it's spoiling everything, it's killing people, Football's been suspended due to it. Obviously, a lot of sporting events across the globe have been suspended because of this virus. Obviously, a lot of people now have to self-isolate. We're in lockdown at the moment. Probably will end up being in complete lockdown very, very soon because this virus is spreading like out. But I think the Premier League season is going to definitely finish no matter what, because it got extended indefinitely, did the Premier League season. And it's suspended till the 30th of April, but there's been rumours saying it will resume on the 1st of June and the season will be completed within 6 weeks and that. So, as you all know about that, and quite a few football players have obviously been tested positive for the virus and that. But yeah, Jude Bellingham is another player on Manchester United's agenda. Now, obviously, another player on Manchester United's agenda is Jack Grealish. Now, I have been keeping up to date, haven't I, regarding Jack Grealish. Now, I think if Villa were to get relegated this season, then I think it would up our chances of getting Jack Grealish. Even if Villa were to avoid relegation, there's still a chance, that Jack Grealish could leave Aston Villa in the summer. But from a Villa perspective, they'll think the only way they can convince him to stay, and that's if they avoid relegation. Now, with Villa avoiding relegation, Jack Grealish would probably cost around in the 60-odd or 70-odd million pound range. But obviously, it wouldn't cost as much as 60 or 70 million if Villa were to get relegated. Maybe he could get Grealish for around 30 or 40 million pounds. Now, we've been relentlessly linked to him. I think even if Paul Pogba is to stay at Manchester United, it wouldn't affect our pursuit of Jack Grealish. Now, obviously, a few clubs have been in for him. Real Madrid, Manchester City and Tottenham. They've all been in for Jack Grealish. Tottenham came close to getting Jack Grealish back in the summer of 2018. for around £25 million, was it? But Jack Grealish has become an integral part of Villa's team. You know, up until this point, I think he's spent the entirety of his career with Villa. Obviously, you know, he was a key. He was he was the big part of Villa, you know, getting promotion to the Premier League. He was also a big part of them, you know, progressing to the Carabao Cup final this season. But very, very good player, I've got to be honest with you. Predominantly an attacking mid, can also play as a winner occasionally. Still got around 3 years left on his contract with Villa. He's under contract with them till 2023, and I don't think there's a buyout clause inserted in his contract. So yeah, he's another player on Manchester United's agenda, and Rio Ferdinand does believe he's got the cutting edge over James Maddison, because he's also another midfielder that Manchester United have been in for, James Maddison in that. But yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of players on our agenda. Obviously, you know, there's quite a lot of strikers on our agenda because Man United are in search for a centre forward. You know, we have got a lot of good attacking players. You know, obviously, you know, Odion Ighalo has done really, really well for us. He's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Odion Ighalo has 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club, and he's an option of a different type of centre forward, and he's the vocal point, is Odion Ighalo. But I've just got to make an admission, he has definitely confounded his critics wrong, because a lot of people were saying, you know, he was a panic buy by Manchester United, was Odion Ighalo. But yeah, so we've obviously got him on loan. Man United paid around 3 or 4 million to get him on loan. We're paying the third of his wages at the moment. Don't forget, you know, it says Man United want to get him on a permanent basis in the summer, and it will cost us around £15 million to get him on a permanent basis. And I think Odion Ighalo wants to remain at Manchester United, but now it could be a change to this. We may now not get him on a permanent basis, because as you all know, yesterday Sky Sports reported out saying that, you know, his parent club, Shanghai Shenhua, have offered him £400,000 a week before tax, plus a 2-year contract extension to convince him to turn down a permanent move to Man United. I think he's got 2 years left on his current contract with Shanghai Shenhua. He's under contract with them until 2022. But I think Man United are looking to extend his loan anywhere until June the 30th due to the coronavirus pandemic. I think his current loan spell ends with Man United on the 31st of May. But I'm glad we got Odion Ighalo in because, like I mentioned, he's a very, very good cover-up to Marcus Rashford. And got to be honest, we know Rashford was very, very good earlier on this season. He was one of our best players. But he has been out of a back injury for a while as Rashford. And I think he's expected back, you know, when the season does resume. But Rashford has spent the entirety of his career with the club. He's been here since he was the age of 7. And he's been in our senior squad since 2016 as Marcus Rashford. Been in our senior squad, you know, since 2016 and that. I also, you know, too, I like Anthony Martial a lot because he's recently rejuvenated himself. He's sustained quite a few injuries during his Man United career, you know, especially this season he's sustained quite a lot of injuries. And you can say it's had a bad effect on him, but this season Anthony Martial has been playing in that number 9 role, even though he predominantly plays out on the left. And there's been speculation about him leaving Manchester United. I don't think he'll leave. I just think it's, you know, speculating on that. I don't think it will happen. But yeah, so some people, you know, would sell Anthony Martial, believe it or not. One of the best season Anthony Martial enjoyed at the football club was his debut season under Louis van Gaal. I think he's got around 16 or 17 goals, is it, this season for the club. Greenwood's a very, very good attacking player. Daniel James, he hasn't been brilliant in the last month or so, but still a very, very good attacking player. But I think he's done really, really well at Manchester United as Daniel James. But we still need another centre forward in there because we basically need an adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku. You know, so put that into the equation. Obviously, we have been in for Harry Kane. He's been one player on Man United's agenda, but I think that's unlikely. It's unlikely that we'll sign Harry Kane. I'm very, very sceptical about it. I do believe he will leave Tottenham, will Harry Kane. He may not leave in the summer, you know, he may leave next year, I don't know. But I just think, you know, he definitely will leave. One thing I can assure that Harry Kane will definitely not see out his contract with Tottenham because he's got 4 years remaining on his contract, because back in the summer of 2018, Kane signed a new 6-year deal with Tottenham worth around £200,000 a week. The good news from a Tottenham perspective is that, you know, he's he's near to first team training, and he's been out with injury, with a hamstring injury for a couple of months. But when the season does resume, he is expected to be back. And obviously, Tottenham can't win anything in terms of silverware this season. Tottenham's ambitions now will be to probably finish 5th so they can get qualification for the Champions League, but I'm very sceptical about that happening. Alan Shearer does believe that Kane should quit Tottenham if Tottenham don't win anything next year. But definitely Kane is Tottenham's best player. But obviously he's unhappy under Jose Mourinho's guidance. Definitely unhappy under Mourinho's guidance. But we've been in for Kane for the last 5 years. Tottenham have quoted out how much they'd want. They would want around £150 million, would Tottenham, if they were, tempted to selling him. That would make him one of the most expensive players in the world, like the 3rd most expensive player in the world. But Harry Kane is Tottenham's 3rd highest goal scorer in their history, behind Bobby Smith and Jimmy Greaves. He's got 181 goals in 278 appearances in all competitions, like 130 odd in the Premier League. But Kane has been at Tottenham for several years. He's revealed his ambitions. One of his ambitions is to win some silverware, and his other ambition is to play in the Champions League, and this is something that Tottenham are not doing. Kane has not won anything in terms of silverware at Tottenham. I think he did win the Golden Boot a couple of times, but he's been in Tottenham's senior squad since 2011. But, the £150 million that Tottenham won, we could get quite a few players for the £150 million rather than pay £150 million for one player. But I do believe Kane would probably either go to Real Madrid or he'd probably maybe go to Juventus. I don't think he'd continue applying his trade in the Premier League. He is still only the age of 26, by the way, is Harry Kane. But I definitely do believe he will quit Tottenham. But there's been other strikers on our agenda that are cheaper solutions than Kane. Aubameyang, he'd be a cheaper solution than Kane. He costs us 3 times less, because Arsenal value Aubameyang at around £50 million. Timo Werner, he's available for around £50 million. He'd, be 3 times less than Harry Kane and that. So there you go. There's cheaper solutions than Harry Kane. But definitely Manchester United do need a striker in the summer transfer window. So let's just put that into the equation. Now, I think the players that are going to leave Manchester United in the summer, I think definitely Jesse Lingard is going to be sold in the summer transfer window, because he's been very, very inconsistent, and Lingard has struggled to get in the team, since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, Andres Pereira has struggled to get in the team since McTominay come back. So they are 2 players that do need to leave Manchester United. So you've got Lingard with just under 16 months left on his contract left, and you've got Pereira that's under contract with Man United until 2023. Both players can operate in the number 10 or they can play on the right, but we just can't seem to get the best out of them. So we do definitely need to get rid of them players. I think we also need to get rid of Phil Jones, because he's served his 2 requirements now. Phil Jones doesn't even get in the team. Phil Jones is now into his 9th season at Manchester United. We made the wrong decision last season by giving him a new long-term contract. Phil Jones has been here since the Alex Ferguson era, so he's another player that does need to be moved on. I also believe we'll negotiate on getting rid of Alexis Sanchez on a permanent transfer, because he's on loan at Inter Milan at the moment. Despite the fact that he's on loan at Inter Milan, Man United are still paying the vast majority of his wages. And I still believe that we'll negotiate on getting rid of Marcus Rojo on a permanent transfer, because he's on loan at Estudiantes at the moment. So we're hoping to generate over £200 million for the players, that we do get rid of in the summer. Possibly David De Gea could leave, because obviously, Dean Henderson is expected to rejoin Manchester United after his loan spell with Sheffield United. And I've got to be honest with you, Dean Henderson has been a revelation for Sheffield United, and I think we'll make him our number 1 goalkeeper, so that means then David De Gea will lose his place in the team. David De Gea, will lose his place in the team. So yeah, there's definitely no players that do need to leave Man United, but a lot of players have left anyway since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, so let's just put that into the equation. And but the players I would be determined to keep at Manchester United, Definitely, keep the signings that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's recommended in. Keep James, keep Bissaka, keep Maguire, keep Fernandes, keep Ighalo, keep Rashford. Keep the young players as well. Definitely keep Mason Greenwood because he's in his first season in the senior squad, and I think he's done really, really well. And next year or two, he'll emulate to Rashford's level. Probably will end up overtaking Rashford, to be quite honest with you. Probably keep Chong, which Chong's staying anywhere because the other week he signed a new 2-year deal with an option of a further year, did Chong. So he's committed his future with the football club. His appearances have been limited, hasn't played a lot. He's had more minutes under his belt than Gomez is Chong, but hasn't played that much. So he needs to get more game time, does Chong. We got him from Fernand back in 2016. Angel Gomez, he'll probably end up staying at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you. I think we're trying to sort out on getting him a new contract. The reason Angel Gomez has seldom played this season under Solskjaer is because of the uncertainty over his future. Gomez has only played 10 times for Man United in the first team. Six of those appearances have come this season. Gomez has been a United player since the age of 8. So up until this point, he's spent the entirety of his career with a football club. But his current contract does expire, by the way, at the end of the season. First player to be born in 2000 to make a Premier League appearance. But yeah, he needs to get more chances. James Garner, he'll stay. A lot of United fans are saying, he should get more opportunities to James Garner because he's seldom played. Brandon Williams, definitely keep him. He's enjoyed a really, really good season as Brandon Williams. Well, was our first choice left back at one point, but I think now Luke Shaw's our first choice left back again because Luke Shaw's done really, really well since he's come back from injury. Give Luke Shaw a lot of credit because he's enjoyed some bad spells as a Man United player and he's had a lot of criticism, and he's injury prone, but since he's come back, Luke Shaw has done really, really well for us. Tuan Zebe, he deserves credit from earlier on in the season. Diego Dalot, keep him. He hasn't played too much, because he's sustained quite a few injuries this season. Keep Lindelof because he's done well at the back with Maguire. Keep Bailly because he's done well since he's come back. My only element of concern about Bailly is that he is injury prone. Definitely keep Romero, second choice goalkeeper. Done really, really well, to be fair, as Romero tends to play in the cup games. Keep Fred, keep McTominay because, they've also done really, really well for Man United. They've complemented each other fantastically well in our midfield. Fred never really got the opportunity under the Jose Mourinho era, but I think, under Solskjaer, he's been given his chances, he's relished those chances, and, he has been absolutely sensational as Fred. So I've got to give him a lot of credit. But it was also sensational during his time in Ukraine. But McTominay, he's done well this season. Got injured, but again, since he's come back from injury, done really, really well. I've been very impressed with Matic. Very, very impressed with Matic, to be honest with you. Don't forget the other week we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. So I've got to also, give Matic a hell of a lot of credit because he's received criticism in the past, and Matic is now in his 3rd season at Man United, and we paid around £14 million for him. So yeah, keep them players. Definitely, keep them players. Keep Martial. So yeah, so there's still a lot of players in our team I will be definitely determined to keep without a shadow of a doubt, definitely. But I've been very, very impressed, like I mentioned. Our record against the Big Six sides has also been very, very good this season. I think we've taken 17 points this season against the Big Six sides. But that's very, very good. And Solskjaer has now been at Manchester United 15 months. He's been here now for 15 months. But like I mentioned, give him another season at the football club because it does take time for some managers to settle in straight away. Klopp didn't settle in straight away at Liverpool. Ferguson, when we recommended him in, he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United. So sometimes managers do deserve time. We should have got a director of football in last summer. It was a shame that we didn't because that's one of the structural changes that we need at the club. And we've made a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years, and it probably is one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent. It's one of the main explanations. And, the board have been accountable this season, all season, for how inconsistent we've been for the vast majority of this season. A lot of United fans haven't only had issues with Solskjaer. They've had problems with Ed Woodward. They've also had a lot of problems with the club's ownership. And like I said early on in the season, a variety of changes are needed at Manchester United. But I don't think anyone will invoke Alex Ferguson's legacy. But Manchester United are one of the biggest clubs in the world, always will be. Fantastic history, fantastic fan base, most successful team in England, 20 titles and that. So, yeah, but I just want this team at this day and age to replicate what the team did under Alex Ferguson. But he's going to get the backing in the summer, is Solskjaer. So, anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.